welcome to Vivacity at Home. I'm Kate. I'm going to be doing a chair-based Pilates session with you. We're going to do some exercises using the chair for support and some exercises seated. Pilates is all about core strength and building our strength in a neutral spine position, which is the perfect position, which means all the curves in our spine are the correct way. A lot of you, if you've ever done mat-based Pilates, will recognise some of the moves, but they're going to look very different in a standing position. So the most important part of Pilates is to start in neutral spine position. So we start at our base, at our feet. Take your feet underneath your knees. Knees are soft. I'm going to not need some minor touching, yours probably won't. Think of your pelvis as a bucket full of water. So what you're going to do is you're going to tilt that bucket forward so the water will flow out front. Then tilt it back so it flows back. Mobilise it a little bit until you feel like you're balanced. You should be able to control your core and not feel like you're squeezing your bum too tight. Everything is nice and relaxed. Okay? Roll your shoulders up, back, and just allow them to drop back into the socket. Your head faces forwards, ears above shoulders, and feel like you're being drawn out through the top of the head as if on a long string. Now you have a big band of muscle all the way around your middle. This is what our abdominals are embedded in, but this muscle, the TVA band, it helps support our spine. So imagine you've got a belt on, and you're going to pull it all the way in, really, really tight. So you're pulling the belly button towards the spine, let it out by half, and half again. So you feel braced, but you can still breathe and move and function. Then pelvic floor, and it's a big band of muscle underneath our bodies, and then you're just going to draw it up through your body, all the way up as high as you can go. Out by half and half again. Again, you should be engaged and you should be able to maintain that throughout. If you are new to Pilates, it has been a while, just try and engage these each time before we start an exercise. Now in Pilates, we breathe into our ribs. It's called lateral thoracic breathing. This means we can keep control here, but we can still get the oxygen to move. Best way of seeing if you're doing this, take your hands just off the ribs, they're gently touching fingertips, then breathe in. And if you do it correctly, there should now be a gap between your fingers. Breathe out. You can't quite tell. You can take your hands onto the ribs at the back and you'll feel them expand and contract. Okay? Warm-ups in Pilates is more about getting in contact with your body. We're not going to go full out and exhaust ourselves. What we're going to do is just warm up our body and just feel where we're tight, where we're loose, things like that. So roll your shoulders to start with. You just want to roll them backwards. You want to see how tight they are, how much they move, whether we've got any pings, any tightness in our shoulders, and relax. Then pressing through our big toes, we're going to do the same with our feet. You're going to roll up to the tiptoes, keeping our big toes pressed down, and roll down to the heels. So keep the big toes pressed, otherwise you will fall over. You might still fall over, but at least you've got a chance. Roll up to your tiptoes, and down. Now bring the arms in front, keep them relaxed and away from the shoulders, your shoulders away from the ears, keep your hips pointing forwards. Nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, turn one way. Inhale, back to the centre, exhale, and out. This is the breathing we will be doing all the way along, so if you can, go with it. But if not, just remember to breathe. Okay, back to the centre. Allow the arms to drop. Lean over. And then if you can, if your shoulder's not too bad, you can extend the arm over the top and down to the centre. Make sure you're leaning first. We're not twisting, we're going directly sideways. And lift over. If I was leaning forwards, I'd have a face full of ponytail. So lean over. And then stretch the side of the body. Back to the middle. Last one. Lean over and back. Okay, we're going to get our hips next. So just shift from side to side. Make sure you're keeping the balance. Try not to do it with your hips. What you're trying to do is shift from foot to foot. And then what we're going to do is roll up to the tiptoe. If that's enough, stay there. If you can come higher, do. And down. And then lift the other side. Lift. And down. So we're rolling through our feet, we're lifting our legs, but you shouldn't come any higher than 90 degrees, because if you do, what's going to happen is your pelvis is going to tilt, and then we're stretching out using our lower back. Last one. One more little movement, just to make sure our hips nice and released. We're going to roll the foot up, bring it out, back in and down. If that's a little intense, bring it here, curl it out, in and back. We've only got 2 more each way, and then we're going to get on with the main session. Down, last one this side, out, in and down. Okay, refine that neutral spine. We're going to start with our Pilates squat. Now, the difference between a normal squat and a Pilates squat is we're going to stay narrow. Our feet are going to stay directly under the hip. Again, if you're not right knee, there will be a gap here. Our palms are facing each other. We're going to raise our arms as we lower, but keep your shoulders away from your ears. So, from the front, it looks like this. Exhale, push the hips back. Knees are parallel, arms only going so high that you're still in line with your spine. Inhale, rise. So again, you inhale to prepare. Exhale, push the hips back. Inhale, rise. Now bear in mind, you might be tight in your neck, in your shoulders. You might not be able to lift your hands as high as me. Or you might be more flexible there than me, and you can go higher. One thing you want to do is make sure you end with your hands at your sides. Palms are always facing. If your palms go to the floor, you're actually using your shoulders more than your back. Okay, 7 left. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. If you're feeling pain in your knees, when you're down at the bottom, just have a quick glance to see whether you can see your toes beyond your knees. And if you're feeling pain in your lower back, what's probably happening is you're sticking your hips out too far. You're doing more of a lead with your bottom. What we want is to keep the core engaged, tucking your tailbone under so we've got a lovely long spine. There shouldn't really be too much of a curve in the back. So nice breathing, keeping our core engaged. Last one. Push back and lift up. And shake out those legs. So we're doing everything slow. You're not just sitting into that squat nice and quick. We're burning our quads. We're engaging everything in our body. With the arm raises, we're also working our upper back. Okay, we're going to use the chair for support for the next exercise. And it's a standing one-leg kick. So, knees soft. So we're going to start by softening our knees, keeping our balance. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, point the toe, bring the leg forwards. Again, depending on how flexible you are, you might get 90 degrees, but no further. Flex the foot, exhale and come back. So, inhale, exhale, and inhale. Again with 8 of these. So bring the leg forward, point the toe, and flex and come back. Eight is the magic number in Pilates. It's where we build our strength. If you're going a little bit fast because you're not used to the speed, you can always add a couple on. The last one, and back. So we don't want to be moving so much our hips are sticking out. We want to stay nice and tall. You should feel this bit here, but you are also using your lower core muscles to keep yourself balanced and lift that leg. So our next exercise, still on the same side because I want it to burn before we move on to the other one. We're going to do a one-leg circle. So again, bring the leg forwards, inhale to prepare. Exhale, bring it back only so far that you're not moving your pelvis. You might not be able to go all the way back, but make sure you don't go behind. Inhale and forwards. So exhale round, inhale and forwards. From the front, go forwards, exhale behind, inhale up. If you're feeling really balanced and strong, exhale and inhale. But if your body's feeling like it's moving too much, like mine was just then, just keep it down. The other hand can rest where you like. You can put it on your hip, but just think about what's happening with the shoulder. You don't want it up. Last one. And back to the centre. Okay, you can give your legs a little movement. You just have a little stretch out the hips. And then you want to go to one other side. Okay, exactly the same. Got to work it, walking around in circles. So again, just check your posture first. Knees soft, core in, tuck your tailbone under. Think about that engagement through all of those muscles, your pelvic floor. And then, hand on your hip or not, we're going to go to a one leg kick. Inhale, prepare, exhale, point the toe, bring the leg forwards, inhale, flex the foot, and come back. Now, like me, you might find you're a lot stiffer on this side, and the hip and the thigh just doesn't want to lift as high. That's perfectly normal. All of us, we may have had injuries. We're all right or left-handed, so we carry a bag on one side and the other. This is all perfectly normal. What Pilates does is it tries to help balance us out. So we've got 4 left. Ideally, Pilates is done in bare feet, so you've got the flexibility and the mobility. But if you do have foot problems and need to wear shoes or supports, go ahead. We'll make this heavier though. And down. Okay? A little shake of those legs. Knees soft again. Or don't lock out the knees, because if the knees are locked out, then you end up standing like this. And then everything you do goes into your lower back. We want to tuck our tailbones under, keep our core controlled to neutralise our spinal position. When it's in neutral, it's at its strongest. All the curves are in the right place and they act as a shock absorber. So you start to feel less pain in your lower back, less pain in around your shoulder blades and less in your neck. Okay? So bring that leg out. You're going to exhale, bring the leg round without tilting the pelvis. Inhale, bring it back. Again, if you want to go higher, disconnect to the floor. If it's too much, make it smaller or don't go with full motion. Do the version that is good for you. You might be really good at this exercise, really bad at another one. If you're doing this with a partner or somebody else in your house, they might be really good at one exercise. It's not about the other person, it's about what you can do. We're all at different stages in our journey. And if we work at the stage we're at, we'll progress quicker. You try and jump ahead, you're going to be stuck for a long time, or at worst, cause an injury. One more. Around and back and bring it back. Give those legs a little shake. Okay, so I'm going to give your legs a rest for the next exercise, and we're going to go to our bow and arrow. Now again, your shoulders are really tight. Make sure they're away from your ears, and just do as much of this as you can. If you feel dizzy and you need to hold on to the chair. It will be the straight arm that you hold on with. Right, so the bow and arrow. Hands are out, shoulders are relaxed. You're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, draw the elbow back, look at the palm that is moving. Inhale, open the arm. You should always see the arm. You want to move from the chest, not the shoulder. So if you lose sight of it, you've gone too far. And then we exhale, inhale. So it's inhale, I'll get it right in a second. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Okay, so we're going to do 16, 8 each side. Make sure I'm not going to step into the chair. So breathe in to prepare. Exhale, arm back. Inhale, exhale, back to the centre. Draw the shoulder back, but try and squeeze the shoulder blades together as you bring that elbow back. Keep it going. Nice and smooth, nice and gradual. If you are struggling with your breathing, mine's not matching up because I'm talking. Just breathe. The most important thing is that you're actually breathing, that you're not drawing your shoulders up. You're not doing this and holding your breath. Keep those hips pointing forwards. We want to just open from the upper body, halfway there. Keep those arms going. If you haven't done anything with raised arms for a while, you'll suddenly realise you don't need weights to make your arms work. They might be shaky, they might be aching already. So 2 left each side. It helps open our chest. Helps us think about those back muscles. Last one each side. So draw the elbow back, open out, back to the centre, Last one. And back. Allow the arms to drop and just give the shoulders a little roll. Right, we're going to do a standing swim. Some will call this star. Where I learned it was called a swim. If you have tight shoulders and they were done in from last exercise, you can just keep your hands down. If your balance also doesn't feel great, keep your hands down. But what I want you to do, everybody to do, is just bring their feet slightly further back, lean forward just until you feel your abs start to work. Now you can just do the leg part of this. You can just do the arm part of this if you don't feel like standing on one leg is a good idea right now. So this is a standing swim. Nice deep breath in to prepare. Let opposite arm leg. Exhale. Bring opposite arm and leg back. Inhale, bring it back. Keep your hips square so you're not turning and opening the hip. Exhale, raise. Inhale, back. Exhale. Nice and long, stretching the body. If you're feeling like it's pulling in your lower back, you're probably lifting the leg too high, so just point the toe and stretch it nice and long. Exhale. And inhale. Again, the reason why we're breathing the way we are is because if you inhale and you stretch, your ribs move. A lot of the time what we're doing in Pilates is trying to stay in control of our rib cage. We don't want it lifting at the wrong moment because then our core can't lock on. We start pulling on our back, our shoulders and our necks. So if you ever wonder why yoga breathes one way, Pilates breathes a different way, it's literally to do with body position. We're aiming for body position. In yoga, we're trying to move with your breath and flow with your breath. We are doing that in Pilates. We're just adding body position to it. Last one each side, then you get to sit down, which sounds like a good thing. And down. Okay. Next exercise. Take a sit. Now, I'm going to turn so you can see how I'm sat. What you don't want to do is sit all the way back in the chair and just flop against the back of the chair. You want to bring yourself forwards. There is a gap between you and the back, and you can sit nice and upright. Just like we were standing, you want to, this time, brace our sit bones, the bone bits of our bottom, into the chair, feet on the floor. And if you're on a chair like this, it's slightly sloped back, it's going to make the next bit a little bit easier if you're not sitting all the way back. If your chair's completely flat, it won't have quite the same impact, but it still means that you're having to look on your core to hold your body up. Okay? So we're going to go into some knee raises. Feet want to be directly underneath your hips, knees above you, feet and their hip width. You don't want them out, you don't want them dropping in. Again, if you're not kneed a little bit like me, they might be a bit close together, but as long as they're straight for you. Sit nice and tall. If you want to, you can gently hold onto the bottom of the chair, but don't squeeze in. I'm just going to rest my hands. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to roll up either to the tiptoe or lift the leg up. Inhale and down. 16, 8 each side. Exhale, roll through the toe and lift. Inhale and down. Now obviously they're going to lift higher than you hit this time, but they won't go much higher. We also don't want to bring our body forwards. So up and down. Roll through the foot. It means you lift it much gentler and with more control. And you're more likely to think about what's happening with the rest of your body. So keep nice and tall, nice and long, rolling through those feet. This is the halfway mark. Keep it going. You might feel this quite intensely here. It depends on how tight you are on your hips. If it does start to get worse as you go on, just go to the raise to the tiptoe. You don't have to keep lifting the legs. Just keep your hips square the entire time. Okay? Keep going. Nearly there. And I want you to remember this exercise for later. It will come up again. Last one. And down. Just make sure you're even. If you've lost count at any point, just make sure you're not finishing on the same one that you started on, otherwise one leg's going to do more than the other leg. Right, so we're going to do a seated twist next. Again, sit nice and tall. If you have tight shoulders, bring the hands here. If not, hands behind your head, but be careful not to pull on the head. You want the head nice and up, hands are just resting behind. You're almost cradling the head, you're almost pushing back into it. Keep the knees level, feet flat on the floor. If you're uncertain if your knees move during this, if you have a yoga block at home, pop it between your knees. If not, you can use a book or a cushion, but just make sure it's a light book in case you drop it down on your feet. So nice deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, turn one way. So you should feel both hips into the floor, into the seat even, and inhale back to the centre. Exhale, turn the other way. Inhale back to the centre. Exhale, and inhale. Keep it going, nice and slow and controlled. You might feel a big stretch through the back muscles. If you're feeling in your hips and hamstrings, you're probably moving your legs. Exhale and inhale. This itself is a simpler move, which sometimes means we let ourselves get away with things. But if you are doing this well, if you're not feeling it in your hips or thighs, this is where you can actually start linking the breathing a little bit more, a little bit closer. Exhale. Inhale. So again, we are aiming for 16, but as I've been talking, I may have lost count slightly. And relax. Okay, if that wasn't enough or too many, this is a good move. So you can continue, or you can do extra. It's not too much of a problem. It just helps release our backs. And if we're doing it properly, our shoulders as well. Okay, our next move is Pellet Tilt. For anybody who's done Pilates at any time, it is the seated version of a bridge. So you start nice and tall. What you're going to do is think about your belly button. You're going to think about you're trying to push it out through your back, out through your spine. And then you inhale and raise back up. Just imagine you're holding an egg underneath your chin. I like to imagine an egg because if you crush it, it's very messy. Also, if you drop it, it's very messy. So, egg underneath chin, exhale, push the belly button back, roll through the pelvis, inhale, and come up. I don't know if you can see this, this is a white chair against a fairly light background, but I am still not coming into contact with that chair. I'm still just doing everything with my own core control. It is just 8 of these. You might feel tension in your lower spine if you have tight hip or back. And if you've been sitting a lot, either working from home or just because you haven't been able to go out much, this will help release your lower back and spine. By my count, we've got one more. Roll down, stretch the back of the spine, and come up. And just check that the shoulders are still away from the ears. Okay. Before we get on to stretching, we've got one more exercise. And so the two exercises previous to the pelvic tilt, we're going to add together. It's the seated version of a cross crawl, or it's not quite cycle, because cycling flows fast. We're not going fast. Again, if you have really tight shoulders, hands across the chest. If not, bring the hands here, and we're going to add them to the two moves together. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll to the tiptoe, turn the body, lift the knee. We're not pulling our elbow down, we're just moving and twisting. Inhale, back. Be careful not to pull on the head, keep it up. If anything, push the head back. Exhale, other side. Inhale, back. I've left the worst till last. Exhale. Inhale, keep it going. So we're working our muscles, our oblique muscles across our body. That's all the ones at the side. We're working the opposite side, lower abdominals to upper abdominals. So the six-pack muscles are being involved, the ones down the side. But as always, with Pilates, we're engaging that big TVA band, our transverse abdominis. It looks like a corset. It travels all the way around our middle. It helps support our spine, and it's a muscle that you use if you're doing plank. Not what we did. But that is the one that holds everything in. Halfway there. Keep it going. If it ever gets too much, just relax. Keep it going. Try not to speed up. I know it burns. If the first time you do this, it gets a little bit much. Stop when you can't do any more. But if you're fine, you've only got 2 more each side. Making it quite warm this. And the last one. Back to the centre. Okay, well, the final thing what we have to do is stretch. So take your hands behind, onto the back of the chair, open the chest. So what you're doing is, with the chair too much, pulling the arms back, lifting the chest, try not to push the head forwards, stretch out that upper body, the front muscles of your shoulders, and relax. Okay, bring the arms in front. So you can link your fingers, or not, just hold on. But imagine you're holding a beach ball, and you're just going to pull your hands apart, round off your upper back, and stretch between your shoulders. You might want to tuck your chin slightly, but don't pin it to your chest. Just feel all those muscles. I specifically don't want that one, where you push your hands forwards, because I actually want to get deep in between the muscles and the spine, not just over the back of your shoulders. Okay? Come up. Reach the back of the chair with one hand, opposite knee with the other, and then look over your shoulder. And you're just going to sit and stretch those twisted muscles. Back to the centre, hold behind, onto the other leg, and look over the shoulder. And back to the centre. Now, for the hamstrings and the calves, you can stay seated. Hamstring stretch, you lean forwards, calf stretch, you pull your toe towards you. But you can also do it standing, which is what I'm going to do for you. You can use your chair for support. Hamstring stretch, bring the leg forwards, flex the foot, bend the other knee, and again lean forwards. And you just feel a slight more intensity in that stretch than if you're seated. But if you feel a bit wobbly, or don't feel stable, use the chair. Sit down. Okay, come up. Other leg, heel forwards, lean forwards, stretch the back of that thigh. You might feel a little bit in the calf, but we're going to do that in a second. Breathe and come up. Other leg, heel to the floor, ground the heel, really push it in. The more flexible you are, the further back you can take that foot. If you're really tight in your calves, if you stay standing up and wear heels all the time, you might be really tight in your ankle. You might want to be closer. If not, push that heel down. If you're seated, just pull that toe towards you. Change sides. So other heel down, push the heel to the floor, stretch out that calf. Final exercises when standing. Your quad stretch. You really do need to stand for this one. You can either kneel on the chair, pushing it forwards, or you can take the leg back and stretch your quad, the front of your thigh. And as we were doing lots of seated exercises, it really was quite tough on your thigh. Okay, last leg. Again, you can kneel on that chair, push your hip forwards if you can't grab your foot, or you can grab one with your toesies. Or if you're really, really tight in your thigh, just bend your knee and push your hip forwards. Okay, so that was chair-based Pilates. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I was Kate, but if you please keep an eye out on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page for more workouts, both for health, wellbeing, and Vivacity in general. Thank you.